The Federal Reserve wants to trick us all. They want us to believe that it is normal for the dollar to lose more than half of its value in just a few years. So here's what the Fed does not want you to know. Point number 2. They will never admit this. But the Fed has an inflation problem, and it is not the kind of inflation that we are told. We were recently told that price increases are being driven by wage increases. Well, that is absolutely wrong because wages cannot drive up the price of oil, food, cars, houses, and almost everything else. In fact, the price increases are driving up wages, not the other way around. But the Fed needs to convince us that wages are the reason why prices go up so they can avoid taking the blame. This is why Jerome Powell recently said that wage increases are too high. It is their way of saying that wage increases are the problem. If only wages could stop increasing, then prices would stop increasing as well. That's what they want you to believe. But this is not true. Wages are not the cause. Wages are the effect. The cause is the increase in prices. If you don't understand this, then let me give you an example. Imagine that your neighbor is selling lemonade. He sells 1 cup for $1. Now, one day he decides that he wants to double his profit. So he doubles the price of his lemonade to $2 per cup. Now, people who buy his lemonade have to pay twice as much. And if they want to keep buying the same amount of lemonade as before, then they need to earn twice as much money. Otherwise, they will not be able to afford it. So the only way for them to continue buying his lemonade is to ask for a raise at work. So they go to work and they ask for a raise. And if they are successful, then they now get paid twice as much. Now they can go back to their neighbor and pay him twice as much for his lemonade. This is how wage increases follow price increases. Prices go up and people have to earn more money to be able to pay those higher prices. So they ask for a raise and they get one. This is why wages and prices always increase together. But the Fed still wants you to believe that wages are the problem. And this is why the Fed is trying to slow down wage increases by raising interest rates. They hope that if they can slow down wage increases, then price increases will also slow down. And this is why it is so important that you understand that the Fed is lying to us. If you don't understand this, then you are going to fall for the Fed's trap. The Fed is planning to trick us into believing that price increases are slowing down because wage increases are slowing down, when in reality it will be the other way around. Wage increases will be slowing down because price increases are slowing down. Point number 2. The Fed is ignoring the biggest threat to the economy right now, and that is inflation expectations. Inflation expectations are a self-fulfilling prophecy. If people expect inflation to be high, then they will act in ways that make inflation higher. For example, if you expect prices to double next year, then you will try to get a raise of at least 100. And if you are successful, then prices will actually double the following year. This is why it is so important for the Fed to keep inflation expectations under control. But they are not doing that. The Fed is raising interest rates in an attempt to lower inflation expectations. But this is not going to work. Raising interest rates will not lower inflation expectations. It will only make things worse. This is what the Fed is facing right now. Inflation expectations are getting out of control and the Fed is making things worse by raising interest rates. In conclusion, the Fed is lying to us about inflation. They want us to believe that wages are the problem when in reality they are the effect. The Fed is also wrong about the wage explosion. Wages are already high and they are going to keep rising. And the Fed is playing a dangerous game by raising interest rates. They are hoping that they can slow down price increases by slowing down the economy. But this is not going to work. Raising interest rates will not fix the major causes of inflation. It will only hurt the economy. And the Fed is ignoring the biggest threat to the economy right now, and that is inflation expectations. If the Fed does not act carefully, they could make inflation much worse. Now, this is very important for you to understand because the Fed is going to keep lying to us about inflation. They are going to keep raising interest rates, and they are going to keep telling us that they are doing the right thing. But in reality, they are making a big mistake. Now, what about you? What do you think about the Fed? Do you think they are making a mistake? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, don't forget to check to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.